And just look at him as a football player.
Griffin went from a feel-good story to a top prospect in about 4.38 seconds.
And he just brings so much energy to a football team. The motor never stops.
If you let that particularly bring you down, that means you're not being the person that you really want to be.
Such a great story. Central Florida linebacker Shaquem Griffin ran a 4.38 at the Combine. Oh, by the way, that's the fastest time for a linebacker in more than a decade. It was a big weekend. Also, 20 repetitions of 225 pounds in the bench press, all using a prosthetic on his left arm. Griffin had his left hand amputated when he was 4 years old. So you can say there are trailblazers, and then there is Shaquem Griffin. First, he slipped on that prosthetic arm and snapped off those 20 reps of 225 on the bench, and then followed that up by burning a 4.38 in the 40. As I mentioned, the fastest time for a linebacker in 12 years. Staggering achievements both. Here's Jen Latta with his story.
Second down. Couple fakes by Ferguson. In trouble, he fumbles the football. And it's picked up by UCF. Shaquem Griffin knocks it out.
I just knew my time was coming. Like, I waited, and I stayed positive.
Shaquem Griffin just needed a shot.
This young man is a heck of a football player.
A chance to prove the doubters wrong.
I'm sure he has had a lot of people in his life telling him that football is not the right avenue to pursue. But if you want something bad enough, you can make it happen. And Shaquem's done that.
And when somebody tells me we can't do something, I guess we'll just show them.
From the very beginning, twins Shaquille and Shaquem Griffin were inseparable. Born 60 seconds apart, they are identical in every way but one.
When he brought him to me, I took the blanket off, and then that's what I saw, his hand.
Shaquem suffered from amniotic band syndrome. While in his mother's womb, a fibrous tissue got wrapped around his left wrist, cutting off the circulation to his hand.
It was like the 5 digits where they started to perform, but it just didn't happen. It was just like a rubber band that's tight on your hand for a long period of time and stops the circulation. So he never had the growth of it.
With those little digits, every time he'll fall, he'll get a little cut or something between it, and it was hurting him so bad.
Painful. I mean, that is the pain that I can never forget.
He dealt with the pain until he was 4. Then, Shaquem had had enough.
It was in the middle of the night when it happened.
I can still remember him yelling, and just crying and screaming.
So, of course, I get up and I run in there, and he's trying to grab a knife from out of the kitchen in the cabinet. And I was like, what you doing? What are you doing? He's like, I want to cut him off. I want a knife to cut him off. It hurts. It hurts.
I was tired of pain. Only thing I can think is if I remove it, the pain will stop. If I get rid of these fingers, the pain will stop.
The very next day, Shaquem had surgery to remove his left hand. The Griffins knew almost immediately it was the right decision.
He learned how to tie his shoes before Shaquille. He was able to climb the tree before Shaquille. I tried to button his shirt up. No. He pushes me away. I can do this.
As he got older, Shaquem's mom, dad, and brother encouraged him to pursue his athletic dreams.
Everything he wanted to do, it was like, well, we're going to test it out. And so I can find a way you can do it on your own. I test it out with one hand. If I can do it with one hand, you can do it with one hand.
But along the way, there were coaches who only saw an arm that ended at the wrist, not the athlete it belonged to. Even at UCF, the program that recruited both twins, Shaquem saw the field just 3 times in his first 2 seasons.
He wanted to give up at times. He just felt like maybe it just wasn't meant to be. My main thing was being the protective brother I am. It's just you got to push through it. You can't control everything. Being a freshman, sophomore, I didn't really understand what that meant. As I got older, I was like, it's true. You can't control everything. Sometimes you have to let go and let the process play itself.
It wasn't until Scott Frost's staff took over and converted him to linebacker that Shaquem finally got his shot. Last season, he tallied 11 sacks and was named the conference's Defensive Player of the Year.
He doesn't want to be seen as having a disability. He just wants to go out and play football like everyone else.
No matter what happens, we down for each other.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Offense, defense, special teams, we bang.
Hell yeah. Right.
And I feel like my purpose is to make a difference. Is to get rid of doubters. Somebody say you can't play football, prove them wrong.
Well, the next time we get to see Griffin on display, UCF's Pro Day, that's Thursday, March 29th. I can't stop smiling.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just a great story.
It's amazing. I saw him at the Combine, and I mean, this kid makes you want to root for him. He's one of those kids that loves football, and I hope he gets an opportunity to play somewhere because he deserves it.
No question. I think everybody does, but deserves it. The key, he has earned it.
Earned it.
That's the bottom line. He's earned it. Still to come on NFL Live, the Steelers have informed star running back Le'Veon Bell of their plans to tag him. Are they playing with fire here? Find out next.
Could it be us? DiGiorno crispy pan.